For families and caregivers of individuals with developmental disabilities, planning for adulthood can feel overwhelming. Questions about eligibility, funding, and future care often arise long before graduation. Adult Independent Services helps families navigate this transition. Here with us now is Deb Freed, founder and president of Adult Independent Services. Deb, thanks so much for joining me. You were inspired to start this service because of your own special needs daughter, Lindsay. Tell us some of the challenges you faced.
Oh, and again, hi, Robin. Thank you so much again for having me on. Yes, definitely it's a very long process, but Lindsay was diagnosed very young. And as a parent, when you get that diagnosis, you're very scared. You don't know what's going to happen to them. Can the schools provide services for them? And then what's going to happen to them when they age out of the school? And really the scariest question is what's going to happen to them when we die? And that's when you have to realize, things are out there, but without anybody helping you navigate these systems and trying to acquire these services, sometimes you don't even know what's out there. And the schools really don't know what's out there. So that's why, it took me 4 years to really get all the services for my daughter. She's going to be 28 and she's living in a very wonderful, supportive apartment right now and has a ton of supports and services from Uber and Lyft to horseback riding therapy and music therapy. And she has a companion that brings her out and a job coach. But that took me 4 years to acquire all these things for her at the age of 28. So my goal is to start with families when their children are younger in that 17 and 18-year-old range to make sure we can get all these applications done and make sure they have the necessary paperwork and documentation and all that organized so that we can submit all this. So by the time they age out of school, they can seamlessly transition from their school into adulthood.
You work with people all over the country and you accumulate all of the information that they need because it's often in different places and many parents just don't know where to turn.
Yes. So I created my own timeline saying when you're about 16, 17 to go get a state ID, start looking for the documentation early on from your medical healthcare professionals from when your child was first diagnosed, start putting that in chronological order to start getting things prepared from your schools, like your IEPs and any type of evaluations the schools have done. Let's start putting that in order. And I give all my families a folder. So by the time they reach 18, we can submit for guardianship or Social Security income. And then from there, we go on to applications like through the Department of Developmental Disabilities. And everything is sort of a step-by-step process. So the day they age out, which I have families right now aging out of some special service schools, literally putting a plan together for them. So the day they take that diploma and age out in the state of New Jersey with a documented disability, you can stay in school till you're 21, which is wonderful. So by the time you age out, and that's the time frame those adult services begin, you can really transition seamlessly into these services, whether it's a day program, whether it's companion, whether it's transportation, whether it's living independently, because everybody deserves to live their best life, but they need sometimes a lot of supports and services in order to do that. And it doesn't matter how, if you're communicative or if you're not mobile, there are tons of wonderful supports and services for anybody who has a documented disability. And it doesn't matter what kind of disability it is.
What a fabulous service, especially for parents who just really don't know where to even begin in this process. Where can people learn more about what you do, Deb?
They can give me a call anytime they want at 954-541-7765 or come to my website, adultindependentservices.com.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me, Deborah Freed, and she is the founder and president of Adult Independent Services. And you are living well with Robin Stoloff.